The cost of living is exploding right now, and without a partner to share the financial burden with, single people are financially falling behind their friends who are in consistent relationships. Being able to combine income and share expenses is only where the subtle advantages start as well. Multiple studies by world-renowned institutes in multiple countries have found that traditional married couples even earn more on average than people who are single. Interestingly, the reasons the researchers found for this pay gap were causal, which means that it wasn't just the richer people were more likely to get married. It means that being married on average gives people key benefits that lets them earn more money during their career. The gap between couples and singles is only growing to make matters worse, and the cost of dating is also increasing at an alarming rate. This means the financial benefits of long-term relationships are now, more than ever, disproportionately going to go to those people who are financially stable enough to be able to play the dating game. We must also remember that there are lots of people who want to remain single, and even more worryingly, there are lots of people that are in relationships that would like to get out of them if only they could afford it. So it's time to learn how money works to find out how.
This is a super interesting topic because I know when that COVID thing came through, people who were single and didn't have any other help, it kind of stuck it to them hard. And I think in many marriages, when women are married and when men are married to women, etc., when their spouse dies, if they've had a partner, there many times there is some benefit to that. And so being single, I mean, now how many people live with their mother? How many people live with other people? So there may be some truth in 2023 with everything. I mean, people now are talking about things like eggs and how much eggs are and how much chicken wings are. And most economists do not think that there's going to be in 2023 that things are going to be better. So there may be some costs, some positive costs to living together or having a spouse.
Is a project run by the Bureau of Labor Statistics that tracks the financial status of 12,686 people over their lives. If that sounds like a bit Big Brother to you, don't worry. The people being studied did volunteer. The NLSY group that started being tracked in 1979 has shown that married men earn on average 44% more than men who are not married. This difference is even larger than the difference between men who did or did not get a college degree. People who have researched this trend have ultimately come up with 4 possible explanations. The first is simple sample bias, in that men who earn more are more likely to attract a partner and be able to pay for a wedding, which on average now can cost over $20,000, not including the engagement ring or traditional honeymoon. The second explanation is similar to the first, except that it doesn't require men to be wealthy to begin with. It instead suggests that men with more Puritan attitudes are both more likely to get married and work diligently in their careers, making more money than their casual peers who don't care about traditional values like marriage and never calling in sick. The third explanation is that men who get married just become better workers. This explanation argues that marriage makes men work more hours, strive for promotions, and take on more demanding jobs. It's theorized that men who get married will do this out of instinct to provide for their partner and their family, or maybe they are just willing to work longer hours because they want to avoid the wife and kids. This theory also postulates that it's easier for married men to be better workers, especially in extremely demanding and high-paying fields like law, medicine, or finance, because they can depend on their partner to cover domestic duties like cooking, cleaning, and running a house that would distract someone who is single from focusing on their work. The final explanation is that employers somehow preferred married men to single men. It's illegal.
Funny how Mother Nature works. Men who earn more somehow become attractive. But it doesn't work that way for men. It doesn't work that way for men. And they in this article they were saying from the study done in 79, some of the reasons why this happens, people who are together or married, and it was very interesting because 44% more whether the man had a college degree or not. Isn't that interesting? So of course that's one variable. Men who are more ethical and have traditional values like marriage Okay, it was another. Married men do work harder. That makes sense. They want to provide for their children. They want to. I think that is an incentive. I truly believe that. Another thing that was funny to me was avoiding the wife, and the issue of married men tend to be more responsible. I truly believe that. I think more married men are more responsible because they have other people depending on them. And most wives, I believe, most reasonable wives want their husbands to be responsible. They don't want their husbands to be irresponsible. And I really believe that for most men, when they are married to a woman, it puts maybe good pressure on them to keep a job, to maintain a job, to not, how when they're not responsible, they'll go, I don't need this job, and they'll just go home. But married adults, men and women, I think, don't have room to say that. So it was very interesting, and it makes me think, like, are people better off because they work as a team versus working alone? And I know there are some people that would go, the risk isn't worth the reward, but that's not the subject here in this video today.